It started like a secret affair. A married woman left her home under a simple excuse. She told her husband she was going to see a friend, but instead, she walked into a hotel room with a man she met online. Hours later, a lifeless body was found on the bed. And even more shocking, the man she went to meet had vanished, so had her baby. Now, what looked like a secret relationship has turned into a terrifying mystery involving deception, betrayal, and a suspected killer still on the run. How did a married mother of two end up dead in a hotel room? Who was the man he trusted so much? And why did he leave with a child after taking her life? This is the disturbing story of Joy, a woman whose hidden double life ended in tragedy. Joy was 30 years old. She was described by neighbors as lovely, fashionable, and full of energy. She lived in Lagos with her legally married husband and their two children. To the outside world, she looked like a regular family woman trying to build a stable home. She ran a small business selling female clothing, perfumes, and accessories. Sometimes she sold online, sometimes she delivered to customers herself. Although her husband worked hard to provide for the family, those close to her said Joy often complained that life was moving too slowly for her. She wanted more money, more attention, more comfort, more luxury. And sadly, that hunger for a better lifestyle may have led her straight into the hands of a dangerous predator. According to early findings, Joy had been secretly talking to a man she met online. Police sources believed the two first connected on social media through a fake account that presented the man as a wealthy businessman. His profile was impressive: expensive cars, designer outfits, photos in luxury hotels, pictures near airports and foreign locations. The kind of online image that easily convinces someone that a person is rich, connected, and successful. At first, their conversations were casual, then they became personal. Before long, the man began showing special interest in Joy. He complimented her beauty. He praised her as a strong woman. He told her she deserved a better life. He asked about her struggles, and that was when Joy made the first major mistake. Instead of telling the truth, she lied. She told him she was a single mother struggling to survive. She said she was raising children alone. She painted herself as a woman abandoned by life and in need of rescue. Investigators believe Joy may have done this because she feared the man would lose interest if he found out she was married. But the lie only pushed her deeper into danger because the man immediately began acting like her savior. He promised to help her. He told her he wanted to marry her. He said he could relocate her and her children abroad. He spoke of a fresh start, a new life, a better future. But behind the sweet words and expensive promises, police now suspect he was a fraudster, a manipulator, and possibly a serial online predator. Over time, the man studied Joy carefully. He learned what she liked. He learned what made her feel special. And most importantly, he learned what she lacked in her marriage. He began sending romantic messages daily. He called her late at night. He spoke gently. He sounded mature. He sounded patient. He made her feel wanted. He told her things her husband had likely stopped saying. That she was a beautiful woman. That she deserved luxury. That she was too fine to be suffering, that he wanted to spoil her. He promised designer clothes, expensive jewelry, luxury vacations, a bigger shop, school support for her children, and even travel documents. To a woman already feeling emotionally disconnected at home, those words became powerful, very powerful. Soon, Joy was emotionally attached, then physically curious, and before long, she started sneaking out to meet him. Joy's husband reportedly noticed changes. At first, they were small. She became more secretive with her phone. She changed her password. She stepped outside to answer calls. She smiled at messages but hid the screen quickly. She began dressing differently when going out. Sometimes she would say she was meeting a customer. Other times she said she was visiting a female friend. But her story started becoming inconsistent. According to a source close to the family, her husband confronted her more than once. He reportedly asked her who had been sending her strange late-night messages. He asked why she had become distant, why she was no longer as present in the marriage, why she seemed distracted. But each time, Joy denied any wrongdoing. She claimed the man was just a customer, just a business contact, nothing more. Her husband may have had suspicions, but he did not know how deep it had gone. He did not know his wife was already living a dangerous secret life behind his back. Then came the day that would change everything. On that day, Joy told her husband she was going to visit a friend. It sounded normal, but investigators say that was not where she was going. She was on her way to meet the online boyfriend at a hotel. And what makes the case even more disturbing, she went there with her second baby. Sources say the man had specifically asked her to come with the child. He allegedly told Joy he wanted to buy baby items for her. He said he wanted to prove he was serious. He wanted to show that he cared for our children too. So to Joy, that may have sounded like a strong sign of commitment. Maybe she thought this was the moment the promises were becoming real. Maybe she believed the man was finally going to take practical steps towards the life he had been promising her. So she left home with her baby and walked straight into what police now suspect was a deadly setup. The hotel, according to fictionalized police reconstruction, was a mid-range private lodge located in a busy part of Lagos where guests often paid cash and asked few questions. It was the kind of place where people came and left quietly. No one paid too much attention. No one asked too many questions. Security was basic. Records were sometimes incomplete. The man had reportedly checked in earlier using what may have been a fake name. By the time Joe arrived, he was already waiting. CCTV reportedly captured her entering the building carrying her baby, dressed neatly and looking relaxed. Staff later told police that the man appeared calm and confident. He welcomed her warmly. He collected the child from her for a moment. He smiled. He acted like a gentleman. Nothing about him immediately suggested violence. Inside the room, the atmosphere seemed normal at first. He had already ordered drinks and food. He wanted her to feel comfortable, safe, and that was exactly how predators work. They do not attack immediately. They build trust first. Investigators believe the man spent time talking with Joy inside the room. They likely discussed future plans, marriage, money, and children. The kind of emotional dreams that had kept Joy attached to him for weeks or even months. He reportedly offered her alcohol, a premium drink, enough to impress her, enough to make her feel she was finally living the luxury life he had always promised. Police suspect Joy consumed several glasses, not enough to pass out immediately, but enough to lower her alertness, enough to slow her reactions, enough to make it easier for him to control the situation. At some point, the baby was either placed in a corner of the room, made to sleep, or distracted with toys and snacks the man may have brought to keep the child quiet. Then, according to investigators, the room grew quiet, the charm disappeared, and the real plan began. Police sources believe Joy was killed by manual strangulation or with the help of a soft object such as a cloth, pillow, or scarf. The likely sequence is chilling. At some point, Joy may have been sitting or lying on the bed, relaxed and unsuspecting. The man was close to her, close enough that she would not see the danger coming. There may have been no argument at first, no loud struggle, no warning. Then suddenly he attacked. Investigators believe it came from a position of advantage, possibly from behind or while leaning over her. One hand may have gripped her throat, or he may have used a soft item to press tightly against her neck and face. At first, Joy likely thought it was some kind of joke or rough movement, but within seconds, panic would have set in. She would have struggled, she may have kicked, she may have tried to pull his hands away. She may have reached for the bed sheet or nearby furniture. Signs of disturbance in the room, according to the fictional reconstruction, suggested there was a brief but violent struggle. a broken glass, a shifted bedside lamp, wrinkled bedsheet, a handbag turned over, a phone found on the floor. Police believe Joy fought for her life, but she was already weakened. She had been drinking, she was trapped inside a locked room, and her attacker was prepared. As the pressure on her neck increased, her body would have become weaker, her movement slower, her breathing blocked. Within minutes, she stopped resisting. By the time he released her, Joy was motionless. The woman who left home thinking she was going to meet a lover was now dead, killed in silence inside the hotel room, while her baby was still there. Now the big question is this: why would he kill her? Investigators are exploring several possible motives. He discovered she lied about being a single mother. Police suspect the man may have learned that Joy was not a single mother after all. If he found out she was married and had been deceiving him, he may have felt angry, cheated, or determined to punish her. He may have been a professional scammer avoiding exposure. If Joy started asking too many questions, demanding proof of his wealth, or pushing for real-life commitment, he may have seen her as a threat. Maybe he feared she would expose him, or maybe he wanted to silence her. The most frightening theory is that Joy may have been his first victim. Police believe this suspect may have used romance scams to lure vulnerable women. If true, then this case may be bigger than just one hotel room murder. But what happened next made the case even more horrifying. After killing Joy, the suspect did not run alone. He took the baby. Yes, he allegedly carried the child out of the hotel and disappeared. Why? That remains one of the biggest mysteries in the case. Did he take the baby to avoid immediate alarm? Did he use the child as cover while leaving the hotel so staff would think everything was normal? Did he plan to abandon the child somewhere else, or was the child taken for another disturbing reason? At this time of this report, police were still trying to answer those questions, and I think he must have taken the child to sell to ritualists out there. The child's disappearance turned the case from a hotel murder into a full emergency search operation. Hours passed. No one suspected the worst. At home, Joy's husband may have believed she was still with her so-called friend, but inside the hotel, staff began noticing something strange. According to fictional reconstruction, room service knocked and got no response. Calls to the room went unanswered. The man had not returned the key properly. And eventually, a staff member used a spare access key to check the room. What they found was terrifying. Joy was lying on the bed motionless. Her body showed no signs of movement. Her face appeared swollen. There were visible signs around the neck. The room was disorganized and the baby was nowhere to be found. Panic broke out immediately. Hotel management contacted security. Security contacted the police, and within a short time, officers arrived at the scene. Police sealed off the room. Crime scene photographs were taken. The body was examined before being moved. A handbag was recovered. A phone was recovered. Some personal items were found scattered, but the suspect was gone. And because he likely used false identity details during check-in, tracking him became much harder. Still, investigators quickly moved into action. They checked hotel records, they reviewed CCTV footage, they traced phone calls, they examined how Joy got to the hotel. They searched nearby streets, and then they found a major clue. The emergency contact on Joy's phone led them to her husband. That was when the hidden truth exploded in the open. This story is painful, but it also reveals something important. Not every online lover is real. Not every sweet talker has good intentions. Not every man showing wealth online is actually wealthy. Some are scammers, some are manipulators, and some are much worse.